May is a 34-year-old restaurant manager in Vancouver. She had not filed her taxes for 3 years. Not out of defiance, out of paralysis. The first year she missed the deadline, she felt guilty and kept meaning to catch up. By year 2, the guilt had turned into dread. By year 3, she assumed she was in so much trouble that coming forward would make everything worse. She was wrong about that. And the conversation she had with a tax professional in January changed everything. Most people in May's situation believe the longer they wait, the worse the consequences become. That is partially true. But the assumption underneath it, that filing late is always worse than not filing at all, is not. There is a program specifically designed for people who come forward before the CRA initiates contact. It is called the Voluntary Disclosures Program, and what it does is something most Canadians do not believe is real until they see it in writing. Here is how the VDP actually works. To qualify, your disclosure must meet 4 conditions. First, it must be voluntary. The CRA has not yet contacted you about the unfiled years. Second, it must be complete. You cannot selectively disclose some years and hide others. Third, it must involve information that is at least 1 year past due. Fourth, it must involve a potential penalty. If all 4 conditions are met, the CRA will waive penalties in full and grant partial relief on interest. The tax itself, every dollar you owe, is still owed. The VDP does not forgive what you earned and did not report. It forgives the punishment for being late. Here is the part that stops most people, and it should not. May owed approximately $8,000 across 3 years of unpaid tax. Her late filing penalties alone were $2,700, 5% of the balance for the first year, plus 1% per month for each additional month, compounding across multiple years. The interest on top of that was running at the prescribed rate, currently 10%, compounding daily from each original due date. The VDP wiped every dollar of penalty. The interest relief reduced her exposure further. She still owed the $8,000 in tax, but the $2,700 in penalties that had built up while she stayed frozen? Gone. Here is what most people never know. You can begin the VDP process anonymously. A tax professional can submit a no-name disclosure to the CRA on your behalf, describing the situation and the years involved without revealing your identity. The CRA responds with a preliminary indication of whether the disclosure qualifies. Only after that confirmation do you reveal who you are. It's a way to test the door before walking through it. The no-name option exists specifically because the CRA wants people to come forward, and the anonymous step removes the single biggest barrier, fear of what happens when you identify yourself before you know whether the program applies. Here is what to do. Step 1, log into My Account and look at your filing history. The years that show no return filed are the years you need to address. Step 2, gather your income records for those years. T4s, T4As, bank statements, anything that establishes what you actually earned. The CRA already has most of this from third-party reporting. Your records confirm it. Step 3, contact a tax professional who handles VDP applications before you contact the CRA directly. The sequence matters. Step 4, if you experienced genuine hardship, serious illness, a family crisis, financial disaster, document it. Form RC 4288, the request for taxpayer relief, can address penalty and interest in hardship cases where VDP does not apply. May submitted her disclosure. The penalties disappeared. She arranged a payment plan for the $8,000 in tax. She is sleeping again. The program existed the entire time she was frozen.